Hey. Man, I got a case of the Fridays, man. I am completely just worn out. It has been a week, definitely a week to remember. Kids are getting ready to start school and kind of the seasons are changing and man, I'm just worn out. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited. I'm worn out, but I'm excited. I still have plenty left in the tank. How are you guys feeling on this wonderful Friday?
Let's get started, man. I'm ready to rock. Let's go.
Psyched, man. Just got back from had the local real estate RIA meetup last night. It's always good to connect with. I'm in all
Nice.
these like international or sorry, and national masterminds, and so it's nice to connect with like the local
The
people.
local, yeah. Nice, nice. I need to do that, man. I'm really bad about getting outside and kind of sticking my neck out in the local stuff. I've gotten so used to this virtual environment that it's so easy to just jump on one of these and connect. But man, there's nothing like that in person connection. But yeah, we want to be mindful of everybody's time, and I think we got what probably about a 20-minute, 30-minute live, and we want to walk y'all and kind of take y'all through a new series that we're doing, explaining the four M's. What did you call it the other day, Jordan? Or something like that.
Mm.
The four M's. So we know that when you're first starting off, or even when you get to a certain point in your investment journey or your financial journey, or just in general, when you're looking to accomplish your goals, you have to always reevaluate things, and you have to make sure that you're doing things that align with what you ultimately want. And so we got to just kind of powwowing and sitting down and we were like, how could we sum up that process of what it takes to get to that ultimate goal? And that ultimate goal is always changing, but how can we sum up that process in just four simple steps, or create something that would allow somebody at any stage in the process to develop some sort of roadmap. So we came up with the four M's. Call it corny, call it whatever you want, but I think they're personally extremely powerful. And I think that it'll speak to anybody at any point in their journey. I write them down every single day now since we came up with them, and it's just kind of like my roadmap on how I'm leading my life, because ultimately it's about accomplishing those goals that get us to that freedom, or get us to that point in life that we so desire. So I don't have my notes in front of me, and I have a terrible memory, but I know that Chris can always come in these clutch moments. So he's going to start off and tell us what those four M's are.
Yeah,
And
we
I'm going to
You don't
already
trust
said
me,
it.
huh?
It's
I get it. I get it. Mm.
yeah. So we actually mentioned it yesterday too. Kind of just flowed into it, but it's mindset, medium, momentum, and maximization, right? So mindset, yeah, it's kind of the foundation of success, right? You can't create good things with a crappy mindset. Just it's not going to happen, and you need the right infrastructure for it, and that's something that's always being built, right? And then medium is what are you doing to create cash flow or freedom, and what is that avenue that you're using? A lot of us in this space are in the multifamily space and in the real estate space in general. And there's a million ways to create cash flow, right? And so you literally just have to pick one. And so that's part of it, right? And then momentum, once you pick that structure, you need to make sure you have that backbone there. If you're enforcing the daily KPIs, you know what to expect. You have a plan as to how you're going to execute and actually start getting whether it's deals, clients, or anything like that to start getting that cash flow going in. And then maximization, um, which is really, once you have that foundation dialed in, there's the methodologies for hitting full send and really going all out. And the funny thing is, I'm talking about this in terms of uh, real estate and cash flow, but it actually applies in every single area of your life. Um, even with, the foundational, mental, physical, and spiritual, every area of your life, you can dial things in using that methodology. Your relationships that you have in your life as well, and so um, it's nice to have just that cut and dry foundational methodology to dial yourself back in as well, and make sure you have that true north, right? That allows you to keep the gasoline in the tank, pretty much. So, yeah.
Yeah, man, I love it. Like there's so much to unpack there, and like every one of the M's is so impactful. And I want to like just kind of like pinpoint one and say, okay, that's the one that I think most people struggle with. But I think it's literally all of them. They all just hold so much weight on their own. But if we had to just kind of pick a topic to kind of narrow down for today, I would probably say we had to. Oh, is that my got feedback?
You're good.
Okay, I would probably say the ones I see pretty often are medium and momentum. People come in and they're just like, I want to do, this is a multifamily group, but we're not limiting this to just multifamily. This is about cash flow. This is about, time freedom, all that good stuff. And I don't care if you get there by selling, jackets to Eskimos, like whatever you need to do to handle business. But the thing I see often is people are like, well, how do I identify the medium? Well, that gal or guy has 1,500 units, so that's what I need to do. That's going to get me to XYZ. And it's like, no, that may not be the right medium for you. And you may get into that medium, you may see some momentum, but then, you end up going right back to where you started, right? So I'm curious to kind of hear your take on that, Jordan. I know lately you've kind of identified some really solid mediums and you're starting to really pick up momentum. We just saw your post the other day. Unfortunately, you did not have your shirt off. We were all looking forward to that. We, we see that you're definitely building momentum, and you've identified a medium.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's definitely a lot of different mediums, and like I chase shiny objects for so many years, and like I think I can speak on that maybe more than maybe not. I don't know. Like definitely a lot though, like enough to be dangerously helpful there because I definitely wasted so much time. It was like I kept being on to the next big thing, even though most all of those things didn't pan out. So like we all know that business and real estate is really safe and secure. Um, Obviously, we want to find something that we're passionate about too, that we love, because we only get one life. And if you're, living a life and doing stuff that you don't love, it's pretty hard to continue to stay consistent with it and grow it. Um, the mediums that, I hope to help talk about within this group is not just multifamily by any means. I just bought literally should be closed in the next couple weeks. Um, 10 units and they're all single families. Like I'm still buying single families if it's a deal. A deal's a deal. Like my goal is to get to the point that I have the end game in mind, and my end game is X amount of dollars per month coming in that I know no matter what, it will be there. Like my end goal is to spend more time with my family, be a better husband, better father, better man of God, better leader. And with all those things, I need time, right? There's only so much time in every day. So the mindset is number one. Like, we obviously realize that it's going to be a stretch for a while. The first few years are pretty tough, but like after that, it starts to get a lot easier, which is kind of where I'm at now. If I wouldn't have chased so many shiny objects, it would have went a lot faster. But the medium doesn't have to be multifamily. It can be single family. It can be flipping houses. It can be wholesaling. It could be buying a service-based business. It could be, I even help. I've even helped in the past help people grow groups and stuff like that they wanted to, find a bigger audience. Like there's so many different mediums out there that can get you out of just the normal 9 to 5 job. So those are the things I want to talk about. Is it could be any medium, guys. Like as long as our mindset is correct, it doesn't matter what the medium is, as long as it's real and like true. Like that's the biggest thing, is like chasing something that has validity behind it, like with real estate, businesses, not shiny objects, which I can definitely speak to that.
I think you bring up a good point too, Jordan, because you're hitting at that mindset, that foundational piece where your whys are coming out. Like what's that those long-term motivations, freedom with your family, right? It's a huge why, right? But then there's all these limiting factors that start popping up in people's minds, like, oh, well, the market's not very good right now, there's no deals, or oh, I can barely pay my bills, how am I going to focus on that? There's all these reasons or these self-limiting beliefs that start popping up, which goes back to that foundational mindset component, right? If you don't have that mindset dialed in, you're gonna perform what you're telling yourself every day. So if you're telling yourself you can't do this because of X, Y, and Z, that's literally what you're going to get. But if you're telling yourself this can really happen, and this is going to be my path to get there, your brain's going to focus on those things, right? And so and that's what you're doing, right? And that's what we're all doing. And it's such a powerful component, particularly when you have other people around you that are locking arms with you and picking you up, because you're not always at 110%. You need that crowd and that environment around you to keep you going, right? So it's I love just what you're hitting at, just with the mindset piece right there alone.
Yeah, and then I know we have some like multifamily purists in here, and so people are probably thinking, this is a multifamily group, what the heck are you guys talking about, non-multifamily stuff? And I remember there was a point in my life where like I was the guy that had to pick the thing that I would raise arms against, and that was like single family. It's like, oh no, single family is a waste of time, you don't ever want to do another single family deal when you can have scale. And it's like, look, there's truths to everything, right? It's just, what story are you telling yourself, and where are you currently at in your position? Look, I'm in a position where if it cash flows, then I want it. I don't care what it is, right? And 10 years from now, right? Like we all are fortunate enough to be in Mark Evans' mastermind. And I'm sure that if I were to present him a deal that, was cash flowing, net cash flow, I don't know, $400 or $500 a month, $1,000 a month, he'd be like, look, that's a waste of my time. Right. And that may be you in 10 years, but you have to be able to audit where you're at currently and say, does this deal fit my needs, or does it fit my needs, XYZ 3 years from now? Right. And then you also have to have that enterprise value, right? Will it fit my needs 20 years from now? And so what we're saying is it doesn't necessarily have to be multifamily. It can be anything. You just have to have the end goal in mind and then reverse engineer from there. And I think two people that hopefully we can get on here pretty soon are Kevin and Tia. I can't even say their, can anybody pronounce their last name? Hopefully you guys aren't watching. You guys are going to hate me after this. I always butcher their last name, but I love their story so much because they talk about and they harp on the fact that they were both in different W-2s. They had that real moment where they had to audit themselves, their lives, their people, everything. And then from there, they reverse engineers, right? They said, hey, we need X amount of dollars to get X amount of cash flow that will allow us to quit our W-2s and move on to our next ventures. And then they just simply reversed engineered. It was literally just the data, right? So if you're watching this and you're like, hey, I need 10 grand to leave my job, to exceed my monthly expenses, to feel comfortable, then it's just like, all right, it's off to the races. How do I buy $10,000 worth of cash flow? It's literally that simple, but we overcomplicate it, right? Well, and I think like Chris was saying on the live yesterday, we start hitting these little micro bumps. We hit these speed bumps. We're like, I don't want to do this anymore. The lending, oh crap, I've got terrible credit. Oh well, How am I going to get the down payment? I would never ask somebody for money. I don't want to raise cap. I don't want. And we start hitting these little speed bumps, these little micro bumps, and we're just like, I'm done from there. So I know you kind of talked about that yesterday, Chris, but I'd love to kind of reiterate what you said about, kind of like plowing through those little bumps that we hit and those little hiccups.
Yeah, and I think the truth is, like if you're going at it yourself, you can get through those bumps and those hiccups, but 99 times out of 100, it's going to take you 10 times as long as if you have that person next to you or that group you're in that's dialoguing with you over it. You're able to externalize what's going on inside your head instead of trapping it inside there and really get to that next level, right? And so we all have those speed bumps every single day of our lives. And the more you're able to bring it out to yourself and really identify those things, you're not going to get past it without identifying it first, right? And then the more you're able to surround yourself with the people that are going to give you the right solutions, the faster you're going to get to that finish line, right? And so that's what it boils down to.
I love that.
And I've had to, like, that's a evolutionary experience for everybody, right? I've spent, hundreds of thousands of masterminds learning this concept, and having it proven to me time and time again to create that fast, streamlined growth system, right? We all don't just we don't show up with it. It has to be cultivated and sought after, right? So
100%. 100%. Jordan, you're chewing on something.
Yeah, I saw a couple comments pop up, and he said,
and also, we all know that you've been like working out and crushing it in Fraser's program. We can see the bicep popping. Put them away. Nobody wants to see that.
They ain't popping. I was just gonna. I saw some comments that said multifamily deals are still out there and good. Like, I agree, and I wasn't trying to discredit that when I said I bought single families. It just happened to pop up, and I'm gonna take down a deal where I get 100% seller financing. I don't really care what it is. You know what I mean? Like multifamily or single family. So I was just talking to Daniel Butler this morning. Daniel and Jeremy Butler and Caleb Marty. They have a mastermind called the Capitalist Cartel. Those guys are still buying multifamily right now, and they're killing it. They're crushing it. And I think that's amazing that there's people on here right now watching this that are doing some unique stuff too. Like, I love the medium of multifamily. I really do. I'm in a rural area.
Shoot, Jordan, you just locked up what, 10, 12, 20 units yesterday? I don't know what you locked up. You live so cool, right?
Yeah, for sure. It was. I mean, it's a smaller deal, and it's gonna be. It's gonna be more work than what my 48 unit is, because everything is together there. Like, I totally get multifamily game. Like, I love that, and I want more of them for sure. Just, a limiting factor could be like my mindset previously was I'm in a rural area. Like, I don't have a lot of those. Like, and then I talked to Jeremy Butler about it. He's like, yeah, right, dude. Like, how many 15 unit, 20 unit, deals is there out there that the big buyers aren't buying? It just, once again, being around the right people and having the mentors that can change your mindset. Even a guy who does own some units was starting to have excuses as to why I wasn't growing, even though I wanted to. Just amazing when you're around people that have went where you want to go, how much they can help you get there without, making the mistakes or the excuses yourself. Just sitting down and being real and honest, like what we're doing right now. Toby, Chris, Jordan, we can all sit here and say, this is where we are, speaking to myself, even this is where I am right now, but here's where I want to go. What's in my way? A lot of times it's me. I'm in my own way. The moment I got out of my own way 2 years ago, thanks to all my mentors, my life changed forever. Now, it doesn't mean I'm not in my own way sometimes still. Even the guys at the top get in their own way. How do we get out of our own way? That's the mindset. How do we believe that we deserve to go wherever we want to go?
Man, that's so good. feel like we should all like take a moment of silence to just reflect on that.
Well, I've been told that several times through my career with my mentors. If you would just get out of your own damn way,
That's the truth, man. Like that,
bro.
at the end of the day, it's always like that is always, always, always the case. It's always you. It's always you. It always is. And it's always something that you're conjuring up in your head. And I like what you said earlier. Like, we're not saying anything like negative about multifamily. We all have or are pursuing multifamily. Like that's my main marketing game is I'm constantly marketing for multifamily, but I'm not opposed to bringing in anything else that cash flows, right? Like this is a smorgasbord or a buffet, and I'm putting stuff on my plate that I know that I like and that I want to eat, right? So you've got to look at it like that as well. Like, what can you put on your plate? What kind of appetite do you have right now? And you've got to audit that, right? Because for a lot of the new people, they're like, well, I don't know. What do you like to eat? It's like, well, I might eat strictly vegan. You know, I might just be on a celery diet right now, but that may make sense for me. But where are you at? What do you like? And what's going to help you, right? Sometimes you might have some unhealthy dietary habits, and you might need to shake those, and you might need to eat more of the celery or something like that. So I'm speaking in terms of the different cash flows, not just food. But you need to really take control of that situation and start to audit that and really realize why you're getting into deals.
Yeah, I just have so many people that have never done a deal, or they have, you know, like maybe they've done like one or two, like, but they're always like, well, I have to buy multifamily. Like, I get it. We all want that. Like, that's the best game. I agree. Like, truly. But like, if you're not in a single deal and like you have the opportunity to buy some single family homes, even though that's not your end game, like, doesn't mean you can't go in, get the deal done, stabilize the deal, bump up rents, and then sell the damn thing. And then have money for the down payment for your multifamily when you're ready. Like, people continue to say, I want to be in multifamily, but then they never do anything.
Exactly. And
yeah, the truth is too with that is you have to decide what's best for you and what you want. What Bobby's doing, what Toby's doing, what Jordan, it isn't necessarily what you want to do. Like I loved getting into Airbnbs, right? Short-term rentals. And because I enjoyed the hospitality sector a lot more than, I enjoy them both, multifamilies and short-term rentals, but you have to decide what you're going to be able to pursue 110% and be able to go all in on. And it's tailored to you. It's not tailored to what anyone else is doing. And it's part of that is a growth experience too, because you might be into single family long-term rentals and enjoy that for a while, and then you might realize, hey, because of X, Y, and Z, I'd prefer to do this instead. I prefer to do boutique hotels, right? And so everybody's different at the end of the day. So,
and a lot of this is situational, right? When I first started, I knew that I wanted to hold property. I knew, all the benefits. I knew that I wanted to have cash flow. I wanted to buy depreciation, all that great stuff. But when I first started, I was dead broke. So the only thing that made sense to me at that time was I needed to go get some cash so that I could have those other things. And so I started wholesaling. That led to flipping, and then that shortly after led to getting some single family properties, building a small portfolio. Some seller finance deals, which led to being able to pull out that equity and putting them into multifamily. So there's this natural progression that you may have to follow. And it all really just depends on where you're currently at in your situation, right? There's a lot of variables here. So what we're saying is when you're identifying that medium, you really have to audit your situation. Don't just, raise your hand and say, hey, I want to get in multifamily. Why? And then how are you going to get there? And how are you going to progress there? And then leading into the third M, what are you going to do to build and sustain momentum? Because that's what it's all about. Chris said something yesterday that completely broke the internet. He said that you want to collapse or condense time and create freedom. Sorry, my daughter just came and scared me. You want to collapse or condense time and create freedom, and that's what that momentum building piece, aligns with. So, what are your thoughts on that, Jordan?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, like, I use the example, like, Caleb Marty, he's been my main mentor since day one. Like, I mean, the guy has 900, units now, apartments, but like, he started with single family houses. Like, he progressed, like what you were saying. So like, instead of someone just sitting back on the sidelines doing nothing, like, if a multifamily is too hard or too big right now, like, start taking down a few single families, some packages, even, like, just take action, like, just get started. Like, I mean, that was one thing that Caleb told me recently. I was looking for another big multifamily deal. I own 100% of a 48 unit complex, thanks to Caleb. And I'm looking for another deal. And it was kind of to the point. He's like, man, just start taking down what you can, because the more experience you get, like, the better you're going to be. And like, my team is already in place. The infrastructure is already there. It doesn't matter what I take down. Like, they take care of it now. Like, it's the same process. Like, they're already there. My expenses don't necessarily change, as in labor and things like that. We're just able to add more cash flow. Like, at this point, I'm building cash flow. Like, I'm not as worried about what it is, as long as it's within the medium of real estate or business. Like, that's my medium, real estate or business.
There's a quote too. You reminded me when you were saying that, Jordan. It's definitely profound to just get started, right? It's a quote from Dwayne Johnson that you reminded me of, where he says it's you choose, it's either one day or day one, right? And you get to pick, right? So like 95% of the people out there are the one dayers, right? But why can't you just say day one and just start, right? It's really that simple. And I was listening to Wes Watson actually recently, and he mentioned that so many people want to overcomplicate the simplest things, right? Building wealth is actually super simple. It's a super simple process, and it's laid out. It's there. When nobody's calling it easy. Nobody ever called it easy, but it's super simple, and anybody can start at any time. That's the ironic part is most people just don't. They're the one dayers instead of the day oneers, right?
I've
Dude,
never
you
heard
just
that before, man. I think you just broke the
yeah,
internet.
you just like this is becoming a new thing. Like you just enjoy breaking the internet. You're just like this wealth of like quotes and knowledge and all that crap. So
Dwayne Johnson broke it.
We can just sit in the background and listen at this point, right?
yeah, it's like, man, that is good. I was thinking yesterday, like, okay, I don't know if you can top that, and then now you just come in even hotter and top that. Like that is good.
Well, it's at the end of the day, it's just boiling things down to the fundamentals, right?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. 99% of people out there just aren't taking action.
That's it.
And there's a time for research, and you always want to research and do due diligence. And when I say due diligence, even YouTube University, if it makes you comfortable, but there's an extent to which analysis paralysis creeps in really, really fast, and then you end up just murdering yourself. And so you just got to act, and act imperfectly. People want the perfect action to begin. They want to make sure everything's perfect. Like, I was talking to a guy the other day, and he's been looking at a certain area to buy a house, like a vacation Airbnb house, for 2 years now. And a deal popped up, and I shot it to him. I was like, hey, you be interested in this? He's like, yeah, man, I just opened up my LLC. And I was like, okay, well, you don't need an LLC for the deal. You just buy the deal. I mean, it's good to have an LLC. And two, you've been looking for 2 years. What do you mean you just opened up your LLC? And it's like, and then he didn't even respond on the deal. And it's like, dude, like it's so simple, and most people just don't execute. And so that's why, like, getting around the right people helps so much too.
And it's like you said about YouTube University and all that. I used to be guilty of that. Like, I wanted to have a 100% knowledge, right? And I don't know I can't remember if it's Dwight D. Eisenhower, somebody says this. I'll find it and I'll drop it in the comments. But basically, it's this principle of only getting to like 30%, 40%, just enough to feel comfortable with it and know your capabilities, and then just leaping in. I think it was Sean Whalen that said at the event, he said, even if you're wrong, take action, right? Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, the deal's in front of you, and it's like, you know, and you can't figure out if you should buy it or not. He's like, just buy it and figure out later. Obviously, that's extreme, but the point behind that is better to take action and fail than to just sit on your hands all day trying to figure stuff out. And then 2 years go by and you're just like, all right, well, I'm going to watch another YouTube video. You know, we're all guilty of it. You've got 50 videos up and you're looking for the right answer. Well, before I buy the property, I need to be an expert in plumbing. Before I take on this multifamily, I need to know everything there is about debt. It's like, no. You just got to go take some action, right? So, man, that's so good. We're hitting that 30-minute marker, and I feel like it's like we're just now getting heated up. But to be mindful of everybody's time, oh, wise one, Jordan, will you bring us home?
Man, it's hard to bring it home. It's been so good. I just, I've lived this life. I was the guy who didn't take action for years and watched people explode. I was even a private lender to Caleb Marty, like I referred to earlier. He's the giant in the room. He's an amazing dude, done great stuff, giving it back to people now. It just, I just constantly would hear from him what I'm trying to tell people now. And I didn't do things forever. I definitely had analysis paralysis and YouTube University and all those things. So I just wanted to go through like some stuff I learned. So like things that stop you from succeeding that I have found personally in my life is distractions. Like distractions are number one. Obviously mindset is kind of all of this put together, but distractions, there's so many of them. People in your life, social media can be a distraction. Let's use it as a tool. I've been guilty of that. Multitasking too much. Spending time watching, TV shows and things like that don't bring you any value back to your life, like to help you learn. A big one for me was my comfort zone. Once I figured out how to make a few bucks in my life, I got pretty comfortable, which is great. I'm not complaining at all, but I have a calling to do more and help more and serve more, and being comfortable and doing that at the same time doesn't work. So comfort zone, you get to a spot maybe in your W-2 or your first couple investments where you figured out most of your burn rate or all of your burn rate. Like if that's all you ever want to do, that's amazing too. I just have a different vision for my life and for my family. So comfort zone was a big one, how to get out of that. You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable to succeed as an entrepreneur. I had to learn that for sure. Procrastination, we talked about that. Analysis paralysis. Just stop telling yourself, that you can't get it done and just freaking do it. Like take freaking action. And what did you say a minute ago, Chris? Day one or a one dayer? Like you don't know how many people that have asked me like, how many units do you own or whatever, and not that I own a ton. There's a lot bigger people out there for sure. I just am getting started. I'm just getting started. I have 48 that I own 100% of, and then some partnerships. Like, I don't know how many times people have said that would be nice someday to me, and I never like processed what you just said, Chris. It's like, oh yeah, well,
that hurts, man. It hurts to hear it.
Like I was able to figure it out. I mean, I'm no different than anyone else. There's nothing special going on here. Like we're here to help you do exactly what we did. So inconsistency, like I spoke on that a minute ago, like inconsistency, like that was me chasing shiny objects, not staying focused. Like find the medium, get your mind right, get around the right people that have already been there, done that, where you want to go with your end game in mind, be thinking about that, find those people. That way they can help you take this at a 10 or 20x speed versus you having to figure it all out yourself. These people have already been through this. They've already made the mistakes. They've already made the wins even too. Like they can help you. I mean, literally like becoming a real estate operator is a big deal. There's people out there that can help you know exactly all the KPIs you need to be tracking, all the things you need to do, like have all the tools in place already. Like they're there, like, and so inexpensive to go ahead and buy that knowledge versus you have to make the mistakes over time. You're paying for it one way or another, but you can scale it at 10 or 20x pace versus you having to figure it all out yourself. Like, why would you not? Why would you not go all in?
Man,
Deserve it. Your family deserves it. It's time. Let's go.
that's so good. So
Love
this
it.
is this yeah, this is when I really wish we were in person. This is like a chest bump, high five kind of moment. Like everybody in the room's like going hoo-ah or something. I'm feeling pretty amped up and pretty encouraged right now. So hopefully this has been encouraging to you guys out there watching. That's our goal, just to bring value and interact. We're not claiming to know it all. We're just taking action, just like you, and we're working hard alongside you to make our dreams come true for our families and for the people we love. So, reach out to us. We're open books. We want to connect. Connection, like we talked about yesterday, is typically the missing link. Iron sharpens iron, and we want to be sharp with you guys. So, what you got, Chris?
I think that's it, man. Put a bow on it. It's great. I love what
Version
we've
2 of breaking the internet,
talked
man.
about.
Make it day one, not a
There
one
we
day.
go. I was hoping
Yeah.
that was a perfect segue. I was like, that's
Yeah. I should have said
Day
it. One
one.
day or day
Now,
one.
today. Make it one today, not a one dayer.
that was
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah, like that needs to be the banner. That is it right there. That's awesome. So,
Yeah. That should. It's the group motto now.
that's it. Well, take care, everybody. Fellowship deeply. Hang out with your families. Do some cool stuff and take action.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks.